What's happening, Green Thumb traders and investors? This is Rod with Power Group. Welcome back on the Pursuit of Wealth. Today's Thursday, August 18th. Hope you're doing awesome out there today. Today's beautiful here in Edmonton, Alberta, 30 degrees. And in this video, it's been a while, going to make a video about Green Thumb Industries. Going to do some charting, going to just touch on their previous earnings and compare it to Cresco earnings. I just did a video on that as well. But spoiler alert, weekly uptrend was confirmed and the monthly bounce is also underway. And like I said, I'm gonna give my thoughts and opinions on the chart and what to expect in terms of the price in the days and weeks ahead, and whether or not I think this stock is a buy. Full disclosure, I do own this stock, and I am bullish on it long term. But I'll give you my thoughts and opinions on the medium to short term as well. Before we get to it, though, make sure to smash the like. Help support me in the channel. Doesn't cost you anything. If you're new, you can subscribe and tick the bell to be notified on any future videos or when I go live. So Green Thumb Industries, GTII on the CSE is what we'll be charting. And if we just go back to their recent earnings here for Q2 2022, we'll bring up the actual results here in just a moment. But you can see here that they had a pretty big beat in terms of revenue. They were forecasting 248.82 million and it came in at 254.31 million, and EPS also beat. They were expecting positive 0.041 and came in at 0.1. And a lot of our other names have been missing estimates. And I just did a video on Cresco. I said earnings miss, but big move incoming. And I said in that video and it was from yesterday, that I think that we could see some more upside on Cresco. And actually, we had Cresco up to end the day today was 7.23, so 7.25 basically percent in the green. And then GTII was up over 5% as well. But their earnings was lackluster. I think they were negative 4% year over year, negative 1% sequential growth. So we were starting to see that kind of taper off a little bit, but they are about to acquire Columbia Care, so they're going to be the biggest company in terms of revenue growth, or revenue in terms of American operators, and at a global level, really. But you can see here on Green Thumb Industries' recent report, the revenue increased 4.8% sequentially versus, Cresco, for example, was negative 1%, and 14.6 year over year, and Cresco's, I believe, was from negative 4% to 254.3 million. First half 2022 revenue increased to 19.4% to 496.9 million compared to the first half of 2021. 8 consecutive quarter of positive GAAP net income, delivering 24.4 million, or 11 cents per basic and 10 cents per diluted share. Adjusted operating EBITDA grew 17.4% sequentially to 78.7 million, or 31% of revenue, and cash flow from operations 39.9 million year to date. So very impressive numbers. Like I said, they did beat on both of those, and I think that's why we're seeing that translate into the chart. We confirmed a weekly uptrend, and we also confirmed the monthly bounce on GTII. A lot of our names have yet to confirm weekly uptrends. If we look at MSOS, which I'll bring up here, the ETF that tracks all the major companies in the US, it hasn't even confirmed a weekly uptrend yet, but GTII has, and it's one of the stronger ones comparative to its peers. But it hasn't been strong. It's down. You might be wondering, what are you talking about? This thing down? Well, that's why I have this up here on the chart. We are down 80% from February 2021 highs, but pretty much all MJ is, right? Even some of our Canadian counterparts, right? Our Canadian peers, they're down 90%, 95% plus. So the US operators are holding up a little bit better, but obviously no one was spared, even the ones with strong fundamentals, the strong financials. GTII is an example of that, but down 80%. When we're in a bear market, fundamentals don't matter. We did get extremely close to monthly overbought, and like I've been saying in many, many videos, if you knew nothing about charting or technical analysis, if I could only tell you to put one indicator in your chart, it would be the RSI, the relative strength index. If we get to 70 and above, it's overbought. Generally, that's a good idea where you want to sell. And I'm not telling you to buy, sell, or hold. This is not financial advice. This is for entertainment purposes only. But essentially, if you just, if you get in the habit of only, selling when we're around here and then buying when we're around here, and this is on the weekly time frame, so this takes a long time for us to go from overbought to oversold. Oversold is anything under 30 and under, and then overbought's anything 70 and above, right? So if you knew nothing about charting or technical analysis, this is what I would tell you to learn. And then next would be a weekly and monthly uptrend. Learn what an uptrend is and a downtrend. If you don't know what it is, you can check out powgroup.ca or pursuitofwealthgroup.com. I have a free course. You can go out there and, like I said, absolutely free, won't cost you anything. You don't even need a credit card to sign up. I go through an interactive explanation of how to spot a weekly uptrend and a weekly downtrend. And if you knew nothing else but putting in this weekly RSI, very simple to learn. And then learn a weekly uptrend versus a weekly downtrend, also very simple to learn. That'll tell you whether or not we're in a bull market or a bear market, right? Especially if we're on a downtrend on the monthly time frame, definitely a bear market. And if we're in a monthly uptrend, definitely a bull market, right? But then we have super cycles, and all these things start to factor in, and we get extended to the upside, we get extended to the downside. But what I want to point out here is GTII is confirming a weekly uptrend with the low, high, higher low, and higher high. So now key support is at 1148. If we lose 1148, we lose the weekly uptrend. And if we zoom out to the monthly time frame, we're starting to bounce on the monthly time frame, which is the first time since November. Once we broke 1371 resistance, the high of last month, which was a multiple inside bar, you could even enter now and look to play to about EMA 12. So even if you just entered now at this price, and I'm just giving you trade ideas in my opinion, that's about a 40% pump and almost 60% pump if we get to EMA 26 on the monthly time frame. And it's easily doable. I think a lot of our names are going to get there. I think we're going to see a extremely bullish fall for MJ stocks. I think over the next 2 to 3 months, we're going to really start to see bullish momentum pick up. And I wouldn't be surprised based on how long we've been pulling back. Realistically, we've been in a bear market since February 2021. So we've been pulling back for about 17, 18 months. We had a little bounce here in November, but not much. I mean, if you go from the low to the high, it was 55%, but we didn't even really break above the previous monthly candle. So when we get this aggressive to the downside, this extended to the downside, it usually matches the aggressiveness on the way back up. So I think we could be due for, 3, maybe 4 green months in a row on GTII. If not one massive pump here over the next 1 to 2 months. Like I said, I think into September, if not near the end of September, near the end of October, I think we're going to really see MJ turn on the jets. And if we take a name at like CL, it's starting its monthly bounce. You can see it's breaking the high of the last monthly candle. If we break the low of the previous candle, it's just consolidation. We're pulling back. If we break the high of the previous monthly candle, we're bouncing, right? And so for CL, we haven't confirmed the weekly uptrend with a low and high and a higher low, right? We just have the low and the high, and this move's all coming off the low. We don't have a higher low, yet a higher high. So we don't even have the higher low yet, let alone a higher high. And you can see that GTII has the low, high, higher low, and a higher high. Therefore, it's in a weekly uptrend, and it's probably the one of the most strongest MJ charts out there right now. And we have a lack of resistance on the weekly on the price action all the way up to $24.29. So we're targeting EMA 26 here on the weekly time frame there at $16.57. If we take a look at the weekly chart, we're well above the 10-week moving average, and the stochastic and the MACD starting to blast off as well. If we take a look at the weekly moving averages, we could easily get back up to that $20 area, in my opinion, and back test that 200 weekly moving average. But we are starting to see the 50, the shorter term moving average, come down through the 200. That's generally bearish. But I would expect a pretty big rally here and potentially come back up, confirm it as resistance. If it does act as resistance and we can't close a weekly candle above that and we get rejected, and then we confirm a weekly downtrend or something like that, or lose the weekly uptrend after getting rejected from that level, that could be very bad. We could be heading back down to sub $10 if that were to be the case, because this is very bearish on the weekly time frame when those shorter term moving averages cross down through the longer term moving averages. That happened on the daily time frame back here in last summer, and that's called a death cross when it happens on the daily time frame. The 50-day came down above the 200, down crossing through the 200-day moving average. That's called a death cross. And if you just exited there when the price was at $36, right, when that bear cross happened or that death cross happened, that would have saved you, a ton of downside, right? Probably 65, 70% of downside, right? But I am targeting the 200-day moving average on a lot of our names, and that would take us to about $20.23, which again lines up with the 200 weekly moving average. And like I said, we have nothing nearby in the price action. We do have EMA 26 there to contend with at $16. But what I could potentially expect is we run up here to about $15, $16, then come down, form a higher low, and then we're going to target that $20. That is what I'm looking for. Until I'm not, I'll keep everybody posted, but it's looking real good for MJ stocks. It's looking real good for GTII specifically, and definitely one of the leaders in the space. And strong revenue growth, strong numbers, very large numbers, and I think it's definitely going to be a winner long term. But let me know in the comments below if you agree with me. I always love reading the comments, and we'll continue the conversation in the comments below. Thanks again for joining us on The Pursuit of Wealth. It's Rob with the Pal Group. If you could smash the like on the way out, if you think I deserved it today, I would appreciate it, and we'll see you on the next video.